You ever watch something and think to yourself, oh, for fuck's sake, not this again? We're talking about the same bullshit you've seen in millions of other shows. Today, we're taking a look at a few examples of these cliches that we're all tired of. But first, like, subscribe. I hate chase scenes. If you watch a horror movie, you're guaranteed to see one of these shitty scenes. You know, there's this build-up, camera spinning around the main character, and then, surprise, surprise, the killer appears behind the victim. Then, in the next scene, they're playing this innocent game of tag. Except, instead of tagging you with their nasty fucking fingers, they gently poke you with the sharpest machete imaginable. But no matter how it starts, you know how this shit ends. Because the dumbass always ends up tripping over their own feet. Mind you, the killer is half a mile away, but instead of standing up and bolting to safety, they decide it's a better idea to crawl on all fours. It's either that, or their feet are so fucking fragile that they're limping away now. It doesn't matter whichever case it is, because in the end, they always end up throating the machete. Also, one other thing that really pisses me off is how the killer isn't even trying to run. They're just walking as if it's just another peaceful day in the park. But somehow, despite walking around the same speed as a fucking boulder, they still manage to catch the running cum stain whose main enemy is gravity. Anime watchers have a shit reputation. Outsiders look at the average anime clip and see so many titties that I gave up defending it. One of these moments that is giving a bad name is the entire pervert cliche. One that I fucking despise. Let me give you a few examples. A girl's changing clothes. A boy walks in without knocking. There's an awkward silence for 10 seconds and they are just staring at each other. The camera just focuses on the girl's barely covered body, and then finally, the boy gets slapped into oblivion and then called a pervert. Then we have other moments where the dude is just spacing out or whatever, which ends with him accidentally looking at the forbidden spot. To which the girl comes in with the classic, "What are you looking at?" slapping his teeth out again. You might think that this would also apply if it was the other way around. But somehow, if the dude is just taking a leak and the girl walks in, she still slaps the living shit out of him and calls him the pervert. How? I know. These companies need to retain the average gooner's attention span somehow. So the best way to do that is using animated titties to their advantage. But then again, there are also casual viewers like myself that get turned off by this entire fanservice bullshit. Ending up with me either skipping ahead or just stop watching at all. Romance shows are fucking garbage. Not only because it reminds me of my crippling loneliness, but also because of how easily a 5-season headache could have been just 4 episodes at max. My first complaint is a love at first sight bullshit. Like, these two strangers end up in the same area, look each other in the eyes, and then end up jizzing their pants without even knowing them. And instead of actually confessing right then and there, they drag this shit out until I have gray hair with 5 grandkids. They are tormenting us every goddamn time, making us think we're witnessing a new couple forming. Every fucking time, when they want to confess, some random thing happens around them, causing a 5-episode delay before they actually confess. And then finally, once it happens, you'd think this bullshit would end right then and there. But they're not done chipping away at your will to live just yet, because they always feel the need to add in a small little fight or argument that could have been avoided if they just cleared the air with 1 or 2 sentences. Like, the dude makes eye contact with his mother on the street or whatever, right? He gets caught, but instead of saying, "Oh hey, that's my mom," he fucking stutters, and this causes his girlfriend to run away the most dramatic way imaginable, making this massive scene out of something so minuscule. It's like these goddamn creators are purposely trying to make you hate these characters, and whatever the fuck they're doing, it's working. Not even exaggerating when I say that the main characters are fucking broken. They can fall off of a skyscraper and somehow stand up as if nothing happened. They can get stabbed in the neck and still remain this formidable force that somehow still overpowers the shit out of this villain. And then we have other situations where they get surrounded by an insane amount of soldiers, but they're aiming like my rank teammates because they're not hitting shit. Plot armor ruins everything. Most movies rely on tension, right? But if I already know that they'll be right in the end, why the hell would I sit on the edge of my seat? They're moving as if they have God mode activated. either turning into an absolute beast by spreading everybody's cheeks left and right, or they're this goddamn tank that eats lead for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So imagine you want your worst enemy dead. I know, very extreme. You've somehow captured them and they're laying there, holding on for dear life. All you need to do is swing one more time and they're chilling in the afterlife. Would you start yapping for 10 minutes about your evil plan? You know, taking an unnecessary risk of them escaping? If you have common sense, you'll probably not even think for a second and pull the plug on them. But guess what? Logic in the media is illegal apparently, as villains have this uncontrollable desire to yap about every single detail to the main character. Something about the evil plan they have and why they're doing it, etc, etc. Like, I don't fucking care about your pathetic backstory. Just kill them already. They won't even remember this shit once they're 6 feet under. The villain's monologue always has this little plot twist in it, where you witness the main character having these flashbacks and then the villain says something like, "Do you finally get it?" Or some other corny line. Mind you, this scene has been ongoing for 15 minutes. More than enough time for somebody to foil their plan. Because remember, the main character always has plot armor. I have grown up watching childhood shows like Drake and Josh, iCarly, and some other pretty iconic sitcoms. These shows had their funny moments, right? With some leaving young Minnesota howling on the floor. And I was not the only one, because the laugh track was also having a fun time. There also were some jokes that were mildly funny, which left me chuckling a little, right? But guess what? The laugh track was still blasting as if it was the funniest shit ever. Other times there were these moments where the jokes were so shit that they left me looking like this to my screen. Well, the laugh track disagreed with me because they were acting as if this was comedy gold. You'd think it would stop at only the jokes. Hell no, my friend. Sometimes they would say the most average, normal, everyday thing, and we still have this annoying laugh track ring in our ears. You can't convince me that these producers aren't just aiming down their AK-47s towards the audience, you know, forcing them to laugh and shit. With this fucking track being spammed so many times that you legit can't watch 10 seconds without it playing. Getting so bad that my smile just disappears once I hear them laughing. Alright, here comes a classic. One solution that will make you smash your head in the wall. One solution that makes you want to kill the main characters. One solution that makes me want to shove a cactus up my rectum. The let's split up solution. Once someone comes up with that shit, you know that at least one character is getting killed off. We've all watched horror movies and we've all seen this stupid idea come into practice. And after seeing it fail millions of times, it's safe to assume that it's the #1 rule of what not to do when you're in a horror movie. With this shit being so well known, that you'd think the person that told everyone to split up was actively sabotaging everyone. This cliche also goes hand in hand with those shitty chase scenes, because one person disappears for no reason, just to find out that they ended up getting absolutely demolished. And then their corpse ends up being discovered by the main characters, who are left wondering, where did it go wrong? Oh, I don't know. It definitely wasn't your flawless splitting up plan, because those always work. You know, maybe if they split up in even smaller groups, this shit might have turned out different. Well, I'm done ranting. If you forgot to like and subscribe, do it or else you'll end up in a chase scene yourself. If you have any other ideas, drop them down below and I'll see you all on the next one.